What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to Sportskeeda MMA News. Bryce Mitchell recently shared his take on the Texas school shooting. Dana White welcomes the idea of Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson in The Ultimate Fighter. Ariel Helwani says Alexander Volkanovski versus Max Holloway will draw more than George Kambosos Jr versus Devin Haney, but earn less than a quarter combined of what the boxers made. Schaub says UFC needs to market Russian and Dagestani fighters better after losing biggest entertainers like Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz. Henry Cejudo slams Kai Kara France in typical Triple C manner. What did he say? Find out in today's edition of Sportskeeda MMA News.
If you see any of your favorite fighters mentioned in today's video, make sure to blast that like button.
Bryce Mitchell isn't afraid to voice out his conspiracy theories, and he's done it again by sharing his take on the Texas school shooting. UFC featherweight contender Bryce Mitchell recently suggested that the United States government is involved in these shootings. He further added that the police were asked to stand down by the higher authorities. During a recent interview with Schaub, Bryce Mitchell had this to say.
I did an interview with Ariel Helwani, and I went on there and I said that the government is doing some school shootings. They're letting some of them happen, like the Las Vegas shooting. I believe that was a government collusion. The Las Vegas shooting was too suspicious. Too many things didn't line up. And anyway, so I went on Ariel's and I said that. Okay, a couple months later, you got in Ovade, Texas, the police officers sit outside for about an hour. And they're saying, oh, well, we don't know if we want to enter because of this. We don't have enough armor. We don't have enough. Those kids don't have any armor. Those kids are unarmed and they're kids. And it is those officers, when they swear in the office, those officers, it's their duty to go in there and die for those kids on the spot. And there should have been zero hesitation, zero. And I'll say the exact same thing that I got censored for on Ariel Helwani's. The government is getting involved in some of these shootings. And in this one, I believe they were ordered to stand down.
Bryce Mitchell last fought at UFC 272 and earned a decision win against Edson Barboza. He is currently on a 6-fight winning streak and possesses an undefeated professional record of 15-0. Mitchell is currently ranked number 9 in the featherweight division and will aim for an opponent above him next time out. He's expressed a desire to face recent title challenger, the Korean zombie Chan Sung Jung. What are your thoughts on what the UFC featherweight contender said?
While you're still here, subscribe to Sportskeeda MMA and hit that bell.
We might just get Khabib Nurmagomedov versus Tony Ferguson after all. At least that's what UFC chief Dana White will have us believe. Undeniably, one of the biggest and most highly anticipated fights to never happen was the 5-time booked lightweight tilt between the Eagle and El Kakoi. The very first occasion the matchup was booked was for the Ultimate Fighter 22 season finale in December 2015, and all these years later, they may come full circle, meeting on the show once again, just as coaches rather than fighters expected to trade blows. That seems like an amazing idea that would generate the best ratings for TUF since Conor McGregor coached in 2015. However, Dana White seemed unsure people would be interested without the Eagle and El Kakoi fighting at the end. Here's what he said in a recent interview with Barstool Sports' Robbie Fox.
Do you like it? So you're telling me you guys as fans, media, whatever it might be, like the idea of two guys possibly coaching that wouldn't fight each other? I'll consider it. Congratulations. Okay. I will absolutely entertain that idea. Well, hopefully they'll get pissed off enough at each other that they actually want to fight. I'm in. You sold me.
In contrast, the current 30th season of The Ultimate Fighter with Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena generated so little interest it was relegated to ESPN Plus without any cable airtime on ESPN. The show could definitely use some star power if it returns for season 31. In the same interview, Dana also stressed his stance that contrary to the belief of popular UFC stars like Conor McGregor and Paddy Pimblett, stadium shows are bad for the UFC business. Here's what the UFC chief had to say about outdoor stadiums.
Yeah, I'm not going outside. I'm definitely not going outside in England. Yeah, I mean, listen, if you're going to go outside, you go to Abu Dhabi where it's hot as hell and absolutely not going to rain.
Yep.
But I don't even like that. I don't like having any outside factors that can affect the fight. Heat, wind, any of that kind of stuff that can hurt the outcome of a fight, I don't like.
Do you want to see the UFC venture into stadium shows anytime soon? Top MMA journo Ariel Helwani recently compared the financial prospects of the trilogy bout between Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway with that of the recently concluded Devin Haney versus George Kambosos Jr. fight. He shared that the Volkanovski versus Holloway fight will draw more but earn less than a quarter combined of what the boxers made. In a recent post on Twitter, he argued that although the scrap between Volkanovski and Holloway would most certainly prove to be more lucrative, the fighters would earn nowhere near what Haney and Kambosos Jr. did for their fight at the Marvel Stadium in Melbourne, Australia this past weekend. Helwani made this astute observation after seeing Kambosos Jr. lose against Haney but walk away with a whopping $10 million guaranteed fight purse. Haney, on the other hand, was presented with a check of $2.8 million for his performance. Alexander Volkanovski and Max Holloway last featured inside the octagon together in the co-main event at UFC 251. After recording a split decision win, the Great walked away with $390,000, while the challenger took home $310,000. Volkanovski has emerged as the most popular Australian fighter on the UFC roster since putting together a scintillating run atop the featherweight division. He will look to defend his title for the fourth time when he squares off against Holloway in their trilogy bout at UFC 276 next month. Which side will you take in the Volkanovski vs Holloway trilogy? Let us know in the comments section and stand a chance to be featured on the page. Let's face it, Russian and Dagestani fighters are quite savage and are as hard as nails. Therefore, the appeal they have inside the ring is quite unmatched. You just got to look at the careers of former UFC fighter Khabib Nurmagomedov and top UFC lightweight fighter Islam Makhachev to understand why. Noting this, and with UFC superstars like Conor McGregor, Nate Diaz and Jorge Masvidal entering the final phase of their UFC careers, Brendan Schaub believes the promotion should focus on incoming Russian talent. Schaub also observed that many of these fighters are incredibly competent but aren't marketed well enough to get their due recognition. According to Schaub, the promotion is heading towards an era where sheer skill will outweigh the entertainment value of fighters. Here's what the 39-year-old recently said on The Schaub Show.
But they do have an influx of Russians and Dagestans coming in. So for the UFC, it's as far as the United States goes, is they're going to have to figure out a way to market these Russians and Dagestanians better. You know, like, not everybody's going to be a Khabib. Not everybody's going to be a Makhachev. But the UFC is headed towards a trend where winning and skills is what counts, not the entertainment value. Because the UFC is losing their biggest entertainers, right? The Conor McGregors, the Nate Diaz's. You look at Masvidal, you know, that's kind of out to pasture.
Talking about Russian fighters, UFC legend Khabib Nurmagomedov recently chimed in with his thoughts on UFC's dearth of big names and how engaging in a battle of coaches against Tony Ferguson in The Ultimate Fighter can go a long way in solving this issue. Here's what the Eagle had to say in an interview with ESPN.
Because right now it's like not too many big stars in UFC right now, you know. Even myself, I'm finished. John Jones is not there. Henry Cejudo not there. Daniel Cormier not there. Like, of course, I don't like this guy, but he have big name. Conor not there. Like, a lot of people is not there, you know. Adesanya, Volkanovski, of course, Ngannou, and my brother, pound for pound king, Kamaru Usman. It's like only like maybe few people, you know.
What do you make of Brendan Schaub's comments? Despite being booked against Brandon Moreno at UFC 277, it seems like UFC flyweight contender Kai Kara-France already has his eyes set on Davison Figueiredo. The 29-year-old confessed his want to fight the Brazilian mainly due to his and his coach's comments. Safe to say, Kara-France's coach Henry Cejudo did not take kindly to this. Renowned for his opinionated personality, Triple C issued a response of his own on Twitter. Cejudo revealed that he doesn't believe the New Zealanders' coaching team has nearly as many accolades as he does himself. The former champion also engaged in a public war of words with current bantamweight champ Aljamain Sterling after the Funkmaster didn't take Cejudo's name in a list of fighters he believes posed the biggest threat to his title reign. This triggered a response from The Messenger. Since I told this man what I would do to him on the sit-down with DC, he stopped bringing my name up. You a smart little Funkmaster, relish and cherish my belt. Two of these so-called legends lasted 1 round and the other 2, at Dana White. Sterling responded by saying, "Lol, don't get your Speedos in a bunch, Cupcake. Ask the media why they didn't add the parts of me accepting a fight with you too. But then again, you're not even in the players bracket. Mr. Timeout, I need a break." While a future fight between the two cannot be ruled out, Sterling's recent appearance on Joe Rogan's podcast suggested the 32-year-old is interested in fighting TJ Dillashaw or Jose Aldo next. Cejudo continues to call out multiple fighters on social media, and it seems only a matter of time before an opponent for the returning champ is announced. Which fighter would you want to see Henry Cejudo square off against on his return? That about does it for Sportskeeda MMA News. Here are some of the best comments. Figgy wants to become a pick-and-choose fighter, except he's not marketable, and on his last 3 fights, 1 loss, 1 win, 1 draw, 1 was a tie, then he was finished, choked out, and finally he got a decision, questionable win. Sorry, but that's not a marketable fighter, champion in brackets. Bye, Felicio. Moreno has the right mindset, not delusional. Did Rogan claim there weren't scoring guidelines that the judges are supposed to follow? If you watch a single UFC event, it's pretty apparent that what Joe is saying is correct in the context of reality. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. Your comments could be featured in the next Sportskeeda MMA News video. We always deliver daily content, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss anything going on in the MMA world. For updates, quotes, and exclusive interviews from all your favorite fighters, follow Sportskeeda MMA on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for tuning in.